What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down why Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and the other tickers out there have some upside potential for the day. I'm going to break down the unemployment numbers that came out, some big news about Tesla, also other news involving the port strikes that are still more bullish. But just note that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Weeble link. If you deposit any amount of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20. If you deposit $25,000 more, you're guaranteed 75. The offer ends in just about 4 weeks. Anyways, now let's talk about the market. So far, we're seeing Tesla's a little bit in the green during this pre-market session, trying to bounce. Same thing with SPYs, things trying to bounce. It's actually getting closer to all-time highs. So I do anticipate it's going to be approaching those all-time highs. So far, the market's trying to rebound because we got the jobs numbers and they're looking pretty good, at least on paper. Not to mention more good news that came out. So let's talk about the news, and then I'm going to talk about the charts a little bit later. The first thing is non-farm payrolls came out above expectations, showing some strength, and unemployment was below expectations. So this is once again showing strength in the labor markets. This is what the headlines are saying. September jobs number crush expectations as U.S. economy adds 254,000 jobs. Unemployment rate ends up falling. So that's what's happening so far, at least according to reports. Am I saying this report is 100% accurate? Is it 100% correct? I'm not saying that whatsoever, right? This data could be very biased. Things can be calculated just to make things look better approaching the election. It's always a possibility. But besides any of those conspiracy theories, I just want to say the data that's coming out is what we have to kind of go off of. And so far, the data looks quite decent. So the data on paper looks decent. The market's liking this. Unemployment was below expectations. Non-farm payrolls were above expectations. So that's good for the economy, good for the markets. We have a couple of Fed speakers as the day goes on, so we'll see what that leads to. Right now, the market thinks there's a very high probability we get a 25 basis point cut. This could shift, but so far it's not really too negative for the markets. The market's fine with that. I also want to mention that as far as other things are going, SPY has a 2.18 puts to call ratio. We have over 220,000 calls expiring and over 480,000 puts expiring. And as a result, the market's still holding up. For Tesla as a whole, I just want to say that all this news that I've been talking about is affecting it. But there's also some news about how they could be announcing new plans for the robotaxi battery. It's very, very cool stuff right over here. What's basically happening is we're seeing an uptick in their sales, and it's sharing that new battery developments are underway. And this could be very, very good for sourcing most of their batteries from other suppliers and produce new designs to cut down their the cathodes that are lost during testing and production. So they're trying to improve their batteries. Cool stuff should be coming out very soon. We could also look for new inventions to be shown during the Robotaxi event, which is 6 days away. Can't wait for that. Now, this is a big piece of news, guys. The port strikes have ended as workers agreed to a tentative deal on wages and contract extensions. Very, very big news. Basically, they're extending their contracts until January 15th to provide enough time to negotiate a new contract. That's big news, and this is very bullish for the market and all the companies that were affected. On top of this, we've had a shaky October so far, but the market's going to try to rebound so far. Once again, the port strikes, they have basically ended. The port strike is over. Big bullish news so far for many different companies like Amazon and Walmart. The jobs numbers are not bad whatsoever. One thing that's worth mentioning is that we'll have to see what happens with Israel. Israel could also affect the oil industry, so we'll see how that affects the markets. Besides that, that's all I'm really seeing, at least for headlines. We're still waiting to see updates on that. But for now, good at jobs numbers, decent anticipation for the robotaxi event, and also some good news that came out involving the port strikes is really helping the market rebound. So for Tesla, let's talk about some key levels. We have 244 as the main support. If that fails us, we're looking for basically 242, which is where this gap support happens to be. And the gap fill will take us all the way down to 241. Those are going to be your supports on Tesla. For resistance, we're looking at 247, 250, and then 252. Where do I think Tesla's going? I think so far there's going to be some upwards momentum, which is going to try to push it to 247. We'll see if that breaks. If we do break there, we're looking for the 250 area. So far, Tesla's looking like it wants to rebound with the market. For SPY, we're looking very bullish. We're attempting to break out towards all-time highs. I think this imbalance is going to finally get very close to about 574. So look for a little bit more upside upon opening. We'll see how it reacts to these all-time highs. But overall, there is upside potential. For support, watch 572. If that fails us, we could technically get closer to 570 again, but this chart looks bullish and suggests that this wants to push for the 574 target. For ES is trying to rebound as well. We have supports to watch for around 57.80. If that fails us, we could be dipping back down to 57.60. But overall, it's looking more bullish and looks like it wants to get closer to about 5800. Basically, 5800 to 5810. It looks more bullish for now. Nvda is trying to rebound as well. We dipped a bit only to rebound. We're going to be looking for an attempt to get back up to about 126. Could be looking for more upside to retest these highs as we have a nice inverse head and shoulders like structure. So it looks more bullish. I think we could push a little bit higher on Nvidia after the bullish news that just came out. Bitcoin's trying to rebound. If we could try to hold above 61,691, I see this thing going up to 62,000. Was that 627? So 62,627 is coming. If you continue to push, Bitcoin's looking more bullish to me. For NQ's broken its resistance. We're at 20,200. We could push all the way up to 20,325. There's more upside potential on NQ. The QQQ also has some upside potential. We're at 488. If that breaks, we're looking for 490 all over again, then 494. If we lose 486, we could be looking for a dip back down to 484. But overall, it looks more bullish and could continue to push towards 490. For Apple's trying to push higher. If we end up losing 226.94, we could be dipping back down towards 224. And if we start pushing higher, we are going to be looking for 230. 230 is trying to pump higher. I think there's a good chance we try to get to this imbalance, but we'll see how things end up developing from here. For the IWM Russell 2000, we look a little bit more bullish. If we end up losing 218, if we lose 218, we turn back down. As long as we're above that, if we favor 220, then eventually 222 if that breaks. So far, it looks more bullish. Coinbase looks a little bit more bullish now. If we manage to hold above 160, I'd look for 170's resistance. If that breaks, we're looking for 173. If it rejects here, we're looking for a dip back down to 165, but this is favoring upside for the 170 plus area. For Amazon, if we could break past 186.5, we're looking for a push for about 188. If it rejects here, we're looking for basically 184. This has potential to get up to 188 to 190 if we do continue to break past 186.5. So I see potential in this chart. I think that Meta has potential for 590 if we keep going. So we broke past 585. 590 is going to be our next target if this continues. If we end up losing 580, though, we will be turning back down to 576. So far, it looks bullish. Microsoft is finally trying to bounce, so we're going to be looking for a test of about 421.5. If that breaks, we're looking for 424. For Google, we look more bullish. We're trying to push for about 170. So the whole market is bouncing off the unemployment numbers and the port strikes ending. Very, very big news. Not surprising for a Friday. SPY is still pushing as I speak. So the upside metrics are there for now. The market wants to push. So watch the resistance levels I called out. All-time highs for SPY, and for Tesla, we'll be watching that 247 area. We'll see if this could crack past that or not. If we do, we're looking for 250 as our next target. There is potential for more upside on Tesla if it continues. Usually when we open, it does attempt to push a little bit. That's usually what happens. So we'll see how well Tesla does, and we'll be very, very patient nonetheless. Anyways, I thank you all so much for listening, guys. Please have an absolutely great day. Don't forget about my Webull link, and I'll be back in a couple of hours to give you guys another update. So until then, make sure you watch the resistance levels and supports I called out, and just know the market has more upside potential. Thank you again for listening, and peace out.